loaded show for you. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur joining us. A little pushy for the tushy. Why not? That vote's happening later today. Is he sick of it? Is he as sick of it as I am? We'll get into it. We've got a Pro Bowl safety. Truly one of my favorite guests. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, I don't know why he's my favorite guest, Donte Whitner, because Donte Whitner doesn't give an F. That's why. He's a made man. He's got opinions. He knows the game. He always, I feel like, teaches me a little something. And he illuminates. And he also is not afraid to put his foot down and make bold statements that he believes in and is behind and is usually right about them. So he works for NBC Sports Bay Area. We'll, of course, get into the Brock of it all. Are we sleeping on the Niners? Are they better? Are they worse than last year? What's going on? Is health the only factor? We also have Ravens stud tight end Isaiah Likely. Not often do we get a Raven to stop by the Up and Adams show. So we've got a little schedule vibe I want to go over with him. Derrick Henry celebration for the extension. And is he going to be next? And at them, Up and Adams, guys, on a Wednesday. Matthew Hamilton alongside. We've got still lots to roll out for my Panini Premiere weekend. We have a really loaded show. Matt LaFleur on the program. You saw the Matt LaFleur interview happen as it did. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were he's very excited about his rookie class, which was fun.
Very.
He's very excited about their offense and the depth that they have there at all the skill positions. And I feel like he's ready for all the tush push stuff to be over.
This man's got to get paid. What's going on? Sirianni's over. Well deserved. Sirianni gets his extension. But Mr. LaFleur is a winner. We're going to talk to him about exactly how much of a winner he is in these the 6 seasons going to 7th season. We got to get him paid. What's going on with that? So the Packers, and thanks Hamilton. Everybody can go to FanDuel Sportsbook, get your futures in. We'll talk to Donte Whitner a little bit about the NFC West, of course, and how it's shaking out the tush push discourse. This is why I'm in such a good mood today. It's almost freaking over. Okay, no one hates the tush push talk more than me. No one hates it more than me, unless maybe the guy who talked about it a lot, Matt LaFleur, is also like, let's just get it done. Let's move on. Let's be over it. He's so excited about the rookie class, and you're going to want to hear what he has to say, and we're going to show you that right now. Okay, well, Coach, congratulations on your draft class. I was with Matthew Golden and Savion Williams at the rookie premiere, and I could not have been more impressed with those two, how they get along, how they carry themselves. They are Packers, and I noticed even Golden was like, I got the go, Pack, go right. I'm in it. He's a quick learner. That's what stood out to me. What has stuck out to you about Golden?
I would say just that. He's a pretty consistent guy, and you can tell the game means a lot to him, and I think he's integrated well.
You took him in the first round. Your whole team did, obviously. Does that count as an early wedding present for Jordan? How does that work?
I tell you what, the fan reaction is something that I'll never forget. It was pretty epic. And then you see all the stuff like the guys on the McAfee show and their reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that I'll never forget. But yeah, I think he's a guy. It's hard to coach 4.28 or whatever he ran. So I think he's definitely a weapon, but there's a long way to go between now and the season, and there's a lot to learn. But I do like the way that not only he, but the rest of the guys have kind of attacked it and just come in the building, been great teammates and just ready to learn.
Character. They have great character.
Yes. And that's something that I know personally, I certainly appreciate, because you never quite know what you're going to get when you draft these guys. You have an idea. Just that's why there's so many hours invested in the process throughout the scouting process. And thankfully, I'd say we're pretty aligned in terms of how much we value the character from myself and Goody and Mark and Russ and Ed. And that's important to us. And because this is a unique community, a unique organization, and these guys is kind of a fishbowl when you get into Green Bay, and everybody's going to know who you are. So you want people that represent the G in the right way.
This is what season for you, Coach?
It's year 7.
Is that insane to think about? Like, what?
It is. I was just talking. I've met with all our guys throughout the course of this OTAs, and I was talking with one of the vets, and it's incredible to how fast this has really gone. I mean, shoot, Jordan and I were talking the other day. He's going year 6, so it's pretty incredible. It flies by, but that's why it's so important to stay present and try to maximize our time together. And because I do think this is a special place, a special organization. We gotta do whatever we can to win as many games as possible.
I saw your thoughts on the schedule. I love that. I do love that we're getting a week 1 game at Lambeau finally. You're talking about it being 7 years in the league. It's your first time in your legendary tenure that happens. What does it mean to you to start the year at home, where you have, by the way, won 70% of your games since 2019?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives you an opportunity. Obviously, we got a great opponent coming in here, so it's going to be, I would say, a lot of attention around that game, and we haven't handled Detroit very well. I want to say they beat us the last 3 times they've come into Lambeau, so we know we got a great opponent. But I do think there's just a different feel on opening day in the National Football League. It's kind of got that playoff type atmosphere. So it'll be good, and I know our fans will be behind us, and so hopefully we can start the season off right.
No, Coach, I feel like the Vikings escape your venom. I feel like Kevin O'Connell just gets off easy. He doesn't get any of the venom from the rest of the rival division stuff in the North.
Yeah, and he's done as good a job as anybody. So being consistent, and I think they surprised a lot of people last year. Not a surprise to me. I think just when you look at the makeup of their team, they got a lot of great players, and certainly their scheme and really in every phase is as good as it gets. So the NFC North is an extremely difficult division. That's why you got to capitalize when you have your opportunities, and certainly it starts with winning those in conference games at home, or in division games at home.
Oof, division game to kick it off. And then you do have those Eagles. Let's just get it over with here. Week 10 on that schedule. I mean, half the league wants to get rid of this tush push thing. I think most people are tired of hearing about it. But you are the public face of it, not you, but the organization. Mark Murphy eloquently was talking to me about it, saying, it's just not a great football play. The vote's happening tomorrow. Is there any reason to think it'll change this time around?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm obviously not a part of the voting process, so it doesn't really matter what I think. I'm kind of with you. It's make a decision, and we'll go and adjust.
Week 8 Steelers. I know you've talked about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Has Mike Tomlin asked you anything about Aaron? When you guys are doing your off-season wine tastings or get together as coaches, has he asked you about Aaron?
No, nothing. And neither has Arthur. So Arthur Smith, their OC, I haven't heard from either of those guys in regards to him. I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. I'm sure they're confident in what they're doing, and I would fully expect him to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
I love that. Back to Golden here for a second. He told me that I asked him about what it's like to catch a pass from Jordan. Have you gotten to see that yet, or is that not allowed yet?
Oh no, we're in phase 2 right now, and so those guys have been going out, and they've had I think 5 sessions together so far. So
he said it's different. I go, what's it like to catch a ball from Jordan Love? He says it's different. How would you describe it?
I don't know what different means, but I'm sure they're in the infant stages of developing their rapport together. So the faster that clicks, then the more opportunities Matthew will probably get. And I do think we have a very, very competitive receiver room. I think it's as deep as anybody in the league. And I love how our guys go out there and compete and push each other. And, it's been pretty cool to watch the veterans, although that there's a first rounder coming in the room. There's a third rounder coming in the room. Just how they've embraced those guys and, taking them in, and they're coaching them up out on the field. Shoot, we were out there earlier today, and I went over to tell Matthew something about one of his routes. And I was just about to start talking, and then Romeo Dobbs grabbed him and started talking. And I said, "Hey, you talking about the Dover?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "All right, you got him." So, but that's a pretty cool thing to watch these guys. That's something that we're stressing with our team. We have a young team. We've had the youngest team the last 2 years, and just, it's important, I think, just to develop the leadership that is needed, that when you get into those, tough division games or playoff type games, that you have a player-led team that can help get you through those tough moments.
Does not having a wide receiver one thing is fun for me to watch as a fan, because I feel like the NFL is progressive in a lot of ways, but like people can't just get on with it, that you're not naming one, that like they can't, like it's like not allowed to not have one. We can't have it's a thought that doesn't compute in people's heads. Is there a headache to not having a labeled, this is my number one guy? Any headache to that?
Is there a headache for it?
Yeah, like because you have to, you have to answer these questions about it.
Oh no, yeah, I don't really care.
You don't care, yeah.
With you. What people think, I just care what we think in our building, and I think we've got a lot of great options, and I think we have the versatility to put people at the point of attack and have confidence that they're going to go out there and make the play. Do I think there's another level for our guys? Absolutely. Do I think we can do a better job as coaches putting them in different positions? No doubt about it. But when I view a receiving core as a group, I kind of look at more like you would a basketball team in terms of just, you want the versatility amongst the group to be able to put these guys in different positions. And like I said, I think we got a really deep room, and there's going to be a lot of competition in that room to catch a lot of balls.
Is Jair Alexander that caliber of player?
Yeah, Ja is a great player. Unfortunately, he's been kind of snake bit the last couple of years, and he's missed a lot of time. And so it's hard to play up to your potential when you're not on the grass. What's
the plan there? Is he anything, who asks about him more? You, Halfley, or fans?
I probably all of us. I would say, yeah, I think that's just something that we're working through, and, hopefully we'll have some resolution sooner than later.
You drafted some pass rushers, but I got to ask, are you open to adding potentially another one if they became available?
Okay, if it's up to me, we're never turning down great players. So, yeah, I'll be up there and talking to Goody and Russ and do whatever you got to do to bring as many good players in as possible. Because I know one thing, great players make great coaches. So if you have some great players, you're going to be a better coach because of it.
Yeah, sack leaders are great players. That's all I heard there. You mentioned Mark Murphy. It was nice to see him have such a beautiful moment at the draft, something that he was such a labor for over a decade. And he really put sort of his stamp on the Packers in a lot of ways, none bigger than the draft, though. As this new shape of what the Packers org is going to look like, what stamp has he left on you?
There's been so many. Obviously, just giving me this opportunity has changed my life and my family's lives. But the one thing I've always admired about Mark as a leader is he's going to trust you to do the job the right way. And he's going to let you do it. And he's so consistent. Like I think that is a mark of a good leader, is you better know who you're getting each and every day. And whether things are going great or you're going through some adversity, he remains calm and steady all the way through it. And I think that's a great quality.
Is he going to leave an impact on you in the form of an extension, or are you going to leave that for the meantime?
I don't know. I don't worry about that stuff. I just try to stay in the moment and coach ball and try to get the most out of each individual in this building.
What's the mantra? Like, as you're saying, I'm taking it day by day. It's not like, what is like last year I saw you at training camp, there was like a very direct focus on what you were focused on. What are you focused on right now? Like, what's the tagline?
I don't want to be a cliche tagline kind of guy, but I just think one of the things that we've said is if we want more collectively as a team, we got to be willing to give more. And I think that's true with everybody. So you can't expect to get different results if you're doing the same thing. So just trying to create that level of urgency that's needed. And this has been a unique offseason in terms of we missed 1 week because of the draft. I didn't want to bring our team back with all the chaos going around here. And then we cut a week off the back end. So we have to be super urgent and intentional in the work that we're putting in.
Feels like you guys are just competition seems to be like we were saying, that receiving room, like the competition, the level of competition
absolutely.
is something you're embracing.
there's so much competition. I think it's, you look at our offensive line, our defensive line, certainly in the secondary. Yeah, we've got competition across the board. I think this is one of our deeper teams that we've had in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see to watch it all play out.
Deep, young, competitive. Let's effing go. You've got it all figured out, Coach. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. You know what? I appreciate that you're over the tush push. It sounds like I very much appreciate that. Thank goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, you're ready to roll.
Just trying to make you happy, Kay.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And you do. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Good seeing you.
I have no words. I'm just dancing. I'm dancing here on Tush Push Day. If you would like to speak, go ahead. I'm just having a great time because Matt LaFleur said he does everything for me. A.
Yeah.
B. He's over the Tush. Not over it. He's not over it. Just to be clear, it's just run its course. Let's make a decision. Now you want to plan. Now you want to see what you have to deal with. We want to see what kind of language. He's down. He knows it's a vote. It's got to be fair. It's whatever. Like. It can't be easy to like express your opinion, like in that crowd and like try, and it's not, by the way, it's not like his, Mark Murphy's, he sat with us. He's been, wanting it gone. I don't want to hear about Tush Push. We're not doing this, but
Jason Kelsey's in Minneapolis campaigning right now. I don't know if you saw that.
No. What is he doing? Shaking hands, kissing babies on behalf of the pushing tushes?
Yep. Pretty much.
Jason. Here's my thing. And we've got Donte Whitner. He's like literally the perfect person to ask this to.
Mm.
If the tush push is allowed still, as I believe it will be, right? Like this is what we're anticipating, I imagine. Like,
it seems like the ball might be going the other way right now. But,
oh, really? That it might be like eliminated from the world?
Yeah.
I think I'm on that side just because it means we won't talk about it. But then I love the Eagles. You know what I want from the Eagles? I told you this at owners meeting. I told Howie this at owners meeting. Like, you don't need it. I want you guys to be like, great, take it away. We'll still beat you.
Yeah.
We'll still crush you. See, I haven't had coffee today. You know what I'm saying? A little bit like.
No, that's why. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
That's why I wouldn't have sent Jason Kelsey there. Just beat him. But I don't know. I know you don't want to get into
bigger than that now.
But there's something.
It's become bigger than that. My question is, if it remains, like, first of all, if it gets eliminated, Packers, what is that, week 8?
Week 10, I believe.
Whatever week it is, the tush push game.
Yeah.
That's just the tush push game. Yeah. Like Packers, you cannot lose that game if they aren't allowed to tush push. Like there's. Yeah.
It's on Monday Night Football too.
It doesn't matter if it's at noon, 1.
Yeah.
That is your Super Bowl. Your Super Bowl is beating them if it gets banned. And if it doesn't get banned, like what is Sirianni doing? How many times is he tush pushing? Every play, kicking it off with a tush push? And
running an entire drive of tush pushes.
I mean, you have to. And so those are the kind of things that I'm looking forward to. Okay, enough tush push talk.
Donte Whitner with a great break on the ball and the big hit right there. Throwing right to Donte Whitner. Throws, he is picked off by Donte Whitner. And Whitner is going to take it all the way for a Bills touchdown.
3-time Pro Bowl safety analyst for NBC Sports in the Bay Area. One of the hardest hitters of all time. It just looks like it hurts. It looks like it hurts so much. Donte Whitner. Oh, we don't have Donte Whitner. Oh, well, I don't know what just happened. I'm not back in the control room, but we are looking forward to having Donte Whitner. I believe we're going to try to get him back. Isaiah Likely is on the show. We just had Matt LaFleur on the show. Can't wait to talk to Whitner. And let's sort of draw out what's going on with this NFC West here. I think we have the odds. Or the odds over on FanDuel Sportsbook on who takes the division. I saw that they're over under. Chris was telling me that it's 10.5. Which I don't know if that's high or not. I think you're more in on the Niners right now than I am. I like that they figured out Fred Warner. Well-deserved, should happen. Love that. I like that they, took care of Brock It's a nice, I think, market-friendly deal for this team. Health is clearly the big problem. I don't like arguing about health and what that would mean. And if you were to tell me right now, if you were to have me throw in with a team, it would be very hard to convince me to not go with the Rams, just because I think they got markedly better. And they'll have a little consistency. And I think Adams will be, the Cup was great. So you can't say it'll be like, a crazy game changer. But I think they're going to be out for blood this year from week one.
Yeah. And I do like the Rams a lot, but I am still a fan of what the 49ers have built there. I think Brock, in all the turmoil, showed some real signs of growth too. I think he's a better quarterback than he was a year ago. And I do think, I know you can't argue about health, but it was a huge factor for them last year. And if they're healthy, I think their roster is as good as anybody in the NFC still.
I remember during the season, Donte Whitner said that Purdy is a $60 million quarterback. He's averaging $53 million per year. Donte, welcome to the show. He's tied for 7th in the NFL. What were your thoughts on the deal now that it's all said and done? And good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well. I thought it was a great team-friendly deal. When you're the last player drafted and you want to show gratitude to the team that actually believed in you, I think he did the right thing by getting the deal done. We all saw what happened last year when Brandon Ayuk didn't show up to training camp and how the season went for him. The previous year was Nick Bosa, who didn't show up to training camp, and it prolonged and it really hurt his season. So they really wanted to go a long way into getting Brock Purdy into training camp on time so they can go out and have a great season.
There's not a lot of buzz right now on this team following last year. Of course, health was a huge issue. There were these I remember going to that training camp, Donte, and being like, man, there's a lot of stuff they need to figure out here with Ayuk, and then Fred Warner wants to get paid. They kind of took care of everything. They seem healthy. And we're probably sleeping on them as contenders. Like what did they do? If we look at the additions and subtractions, what has you convinced, if you are, that they're back to contender form this year?
Well, I think the best thing they did was bring back Robert Saleh, their dominant defensive coordinator who keeps things basic, who really educates the players so where they know what's coming before it even happens. But they're going to have a long haul with this defense. Remember, they just let Javon Hargrave go, Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd. They're going to be relying heavily on 3 rookies that they just drafted this year to play a lot. Mikael Williams, C.J. West, and Alfred Collins. They're going to have to play a lot of football. And then they have to replace Talanoa Hufanga. Last year, Jair Brown, who replaced him, he didn't play too well in the secondary. Teams are going to attack him. They have Malik Mustafa back there, who's a second-year safety, but they're going to put a lot on his shoulders. And then you don't have Dre Greenlaw anymore, who was arguably their second-best defensive player. And then even though Charvarius Ward didn't play up to standard last year, the coach brought him in and paid him. They're going to be relying on young defensive backs in the secondary, and they drafted one out of Maryland, Stout. They're going to be relying heavily on guys back there. I think it's going to be a big job for Robert Saleh this time around.
So are they a better team now? Because there's Saleh, and then there's the Ward loss, the Greenlaw, the Hufanga loss. Are they a better team going into 25 than they were last year?
I don't think they're a better team than they were going into last year. What really deterred them last year was the injuries to Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel missed some time. Trent Williams, their all-star left tackle, I think he missed more than half of the games. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they never could get back to their identity, and that was stopping the run, getting after pass rushers, and getting turnovers. So I don't think that they're a better team. I think that they're going to have to rely on a lot of rookies. They're at that pivotal point where people would say that their championship window is probably closing, when you have to pay your quarterback, when George Kittle wants to be paid, be the highest paid tight end in the league. You have Nick Bosa, the highest paid defensive end. You have Fred Warner, who just got paid the highest paid linebacker. There's not a lot of disparity going around with guys getting paid, and that could hurt them, especially with what the LA Rams went out and did by bringing in Devontae Adams, and now you have Puka Nacua on the other side. It could be a tough year for the 49ers. The only thing that might help them is they have a really easy schedule.
Oh, that's interesting. I was looking at the Cardinals. I saw their schedule. I like the Cardinals. I think we were looking at the FanDuel odds for the division while we were waiting to get it's very close between the Rams and I, but Rams all the way for me. This seems This seems like easy pickings just with what they added, and just with the strength of it. Do you think that their window is closing?
I do believe that the 49ers window is closing. So many players are getting what they rightfully deserve, and that's top contracts. But when you do that and you have to pay Brock Purdy, you start to reach for talent in other positions. And one of the position groups that they did not address was the offensive line. Yes, you'll have Trent Williams returning, but the other four guys are really in question. And though Christian McCaffrey will be back, if there's nobody that can block and positional block and get it consistently up front, they'll probably struggle running the ball. And then you lost Deebo Samuel. Even though Deebo Samuel didn't have his typical year last year, he was still a major piece to that offense. So it'll be fun to see what they do.
And now he's on the Commanders. And I just think these Commanders are the team, and I think you think this too, in the NFC that could give the Eagles a run for their money.
I do. I think that all of those teams in the NFC East this year, even the Dallas Cowboys, by going out and getting George Pickens, that was a game changer. He's a true number one wide receiver if you can handle the emotional and off the field things. And when you partner him with CeeDee Lamb, who's a true number one, and then Dak Prescott, who will make the game easier because they'll have to define as to where they're leaning coverage and who's the one-on-one. It'll make the game easier for Dak Prescott. So I think all of those teams in the NFC East have an actual shot at getting deep in the playoffs this year.
You had battles with Pierre Garçon, yeah?
I did. We actually played on the same team. My last year in the NFL was with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, because he was on the show earlier and he made a lot. He really is into the Deebo like you are. He thinks it's sort of will break it open. And I hung out with Jalen Lane at Rookie Premiere. He's super excited and everybody loves playing with Jaden. So that's the team. We're saying the Commanders are the team that could unseat the Eagles, not the Niners. I can't believe you're so honest as always on the Niners. I thought I was going to have to get convinced on why they should be the team of destiny this year. Not so much.
Yeah, not so much. When I look at the individual players that they have to replace, and I've been covering them for so long now, there just comes a point in time, just like we did with our trip with Harbaugh, when we went to 3 consecutive NFC championships, we ran out of juice. Players get handpicked from your squad to go to other teams, and then you're trying to fill them with a free agent or a rookie who really doesn't have much invested. And then when you get to those big games versus those great quarterbacks, they know who to pick on. And that's what usually happens. And then you wear down on defense. You start to lose guys. The run defense starts to suffer. And then you can't get turnovers. And then it turns into the same story where you have to have a rebuilding phase. They've done a really good job of rebuilding without it being noticeable. But I think this is going to be the first year where it's very noticeable, the rebuild for the 49ers.
I like this Michael Williams, though.
I do as well. And he was a leader on the top national championship defense. And, all of those guys that come from Georgia, they really ball in the league. And you see what the Philadelphia Eagles did. They went out and got every Georgia Bulldog that they possibly can. And you see how their season ended up last year. So I think Michael Williams is going to be a great, alternative to what they like to do with Nick Bosa. I think this is going to be the first year where they're going to move Nick Bosa around so the teams can't really get a beat on him, double team him, and then he finally has a true tandem.
I don't know what his odds are on FanDuel Sportsbook for Defensive Rookie of the Year, but being alongside Bosa, having Saleh back sounds like a pretty nice recipe for him to have some fun out there in the Bay Area, Michael Williams. You mentioned Harbaugh and the Chargers. Let's flip to the AFC. When I hear your name, I think about how your confidence, your conviction about Harbaugh. He took this team to the playoffs in year 1 in that division. It is very hard to do. Do you have a prediction for year 2 in the Harbaugh era?
Well, I'm going to make it if they can get back to their dominance in running the football. Last year was the first year that Harbaugh first year with a team didn't rush for over 110 yards a game. And we can call it like it is. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins just didn't get the job done. They went out and got Najee Harris. They went out and got Hampton, the kid out of North Carolina who's a dual threat. And I think this is going to be the year that they finally open it up for Justin Herbert. They went back and they brought back Mike Williams, who was drafted there, whose heart is, with the Chargers. And then on defense, Yeah, they lost Bosa, but you still have Khalil Mack on the front line, and you still have what's the safety back there name?
Derwin?
Derwin James in the secondary commanding it. When you have those type of players on each level of the defense, you can win a lot of ball games. And what they did last year was fantastic. They jumped on the scene. They let some games go. They should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they'll be a lot better this year to be able to contend for that AFC West.
I don't know if do we have the AFC West odds? Because they can be a 10 out of 10, but they still almost need help. They need the Chiefs to take a step back, not to get into the playoffs, but that's, it sort of has to level out a little. They are slotted on FanDuel Sportsbook ahead of the Broncos, also on the scene, like you're saying. Also, year 2 of the Bo Nix era, little bit of tenure, a little bit of chemistry. How do you think this will shake out?
Well, I think this is going to be the toughest year for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in this division. When you look at what the Chargers did last year, how they had them in that first game, and they really gave up a 4th and 13 or something to keep the ball advancing, to lose it late. When you think about the Denver Broncos and having the number 1 defense in the National Football League, adding Dre Greenlaw, adding Talanoa Hufanga, you already have Patrick Surtain, who's the Defensive Player of the Year. I think that defense is going to take another step, which is scary. And then you have Bo Nix at the quarterback position, who, can really light up the boards when he's on his game. And then with the Oakland Raiders, you have Pete Carroll. And one thing about Pete Carroll offense and defenses, they're going to be simple, but the players are going to play hard. They're going to get turnovers. They're going to score touchdowns, and they're going to run the football. So I think this will be the toughest year in the AFC West for the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
As a fan, it's my favorite because of those coaches you just named. I mean, it is the best coaching division in the National Football League. Andy Reid, Pete Carroll, you just mentioned, your guy Jim, Sean Payton. Like, does that cancel itself out because they're all sort of, above the clouds here? Like, almost like, I'm trying to think, because does one have I guess Andy has an advantage over the others big time as far as pedigree. I don't want you to rank them from best to worst. I think that's a silly exercise. But when you have coaches at that caliber, does it cancel itself out? Like, how should I feel about these coaches going into it?
Well, this really boils down to who's the most delusional. And what makes these guys
Sean
great
Payton.
is all of them, they're delusional. They believe that they can win every game. The amount of work that they put in, the times that they arrive at the facilities, and the time that they leave. To even Jim Harbaugh wearing the same clothes every day. Everything is about football. So it's going to be about who's the most delusional coach in that division and who can get their team to buy in that's going to win that division this year. You're right. Those are Hall of Fame coaches, phenomenal coaches, and it really boils down to which team buys in and which coach can be more delusional than he is on a normal year.
Show me those coaches again. Which coach is most delusional?
I would say Jim Harbaugh is the most delusional. And then I would put Andy Reid second. I might put Andy Reid first. When Andy Reid was the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles and everything he had to deal with that fan base and the negativity, for him to be able to go over to Kansas City and do what he's done and built the dynasty, you have to be delusional. That is a immediate and intentional attack on your self-worth when you come from the Philadelphia Eagles and you don't get it done. So to go over to Kansas City and do what he did, it was great. The reason Jim Harbaugh has success wherever he goes is he's very delusional. He gets the players and the coaches to buy into whatever he says, and then it comes to fruition on the field. It's not even really about X's and O's with these guys. It's about making the players believe that they can do something extraordinary, which is why they always do it. Think about Pete Carroll. He's 85 years old and still runs around the football field and throws the ball as if he's the quarterback. And they love him. He's delusional, which will probably keep him alive till he's like 105 years old.
Are you telling me that Sean Payton is the least delusional coach in the AFC West?
I would think so. I would think, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, right? So those guys
this is a man, Donte. This is a man who rolled in like $250K into the Saints locker room. This is a man who, was doing the Choppa style, doing all sorts of stuff to motivate his team to let them be delusional. This is a man who brought in Jameis Winston and was like, well, this is a man he's the least delusional.
He's the least delusional. And they say to be great at anything, you have to have delusional self-belief first and foremost. So where you have to believe it as an individual, then you can pass it on to everybody else. And I'm telling you, being in the locker room with Coach Harbaugh, that's his formula. Delusional self-belief.
You always teach me. I was just saying to start the show, I go, Donte Whitner always has an education for me waiting. Yeah. We're going to take a TV break. We're going to stay on YouTube with Donte Whitner, who is delusional, some about his Chargers, I think. You have amazing self-belief and hopefully what they can do year 2. You're the best, Donte. Tush Push. It's voting. Are you passionate about it? If it's, what are your thoughts if it gets banned?
Well, being a defensive player, you always, I've always been taught you have to stop what's presented. And there's a way to stop it. I know that the percentage is up high for offensive, teams really, picking up first downs and touchdowns in the red zone. And you feel like the defense is at a disadvantage, but that's only one down on the football field. You have first, second, and third down. We've always been taught if you play great defense with great technique on first and second down, and you keep them to second and long, you get to third and long. If you hold them to half of that, then it won't be fourth and short. You'll make them punt the ball. You have to go for it on 4th and 5. So if you play better defense on first and second and third down, we don't have to worry about the tush push. That's how I feel.
It's not, it's hard to poke a hole in that argument. You're not wrong. I just wonder if it is banned, like or if it's not banned. They meet in week 10, the Packers Eagles. I don't know if you've been following it. I'm sure you have. The Packers are like the face of the get rid of it ban movement. And then you've got Howie Roseman and Sirianni on the other side. Like, what are the chances that the Eagles run it in the first place of the game if it's not banned? Pretty good.
It is pretty good. But, when it really boils down to it, the defensive players do feel like they're at a disadvantage. And when you talk so much about player safety, look how low those guys are and shooting off into players' legs. And the only way, in my opinion, to really stop it, you have to have somebody that's so instinctual with timing to time it and run from 5 to 10 yards deep and really either jump over the top with velocity or hit the pile and knock it back. So there's really no way to stop it. So it puts the defense at a huge disadvantage. So I say first, second, third down, I think they should stop it, and then it'll flip the odds. You know how many times the Philadelphia Eagles probably would have lost games if they didn't convert and get a new set of downs and wear the defense down and eventually score touchdowns late? So I do think like it'll shift the odds in another direction.
Reports are that it's staying. It's not, it's not 100% officially announced, but that's the very latest. And I'm just so curious, like, FanDuel needs to put an over-under on how many pushes can be run in one game, because I have a feeling the over-under for 7.5 on the Eagles' behalf against the Packers will hit the over very easily. Donte, we appreciate you so much, all of your hard work. You're delusional. I mean, that's Church of Donte Whitner right there. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me. Look forward to the next time.
You were the best, and you kept it real on those Niners. I was clearly, if you watched that back, I was not ready for that.
Connection made. Isaiah Likely. Takes to the end zone. Touchdown. Isaiah Likely. To the end zone. Pulled down by Likely. Floats it out. Likely, the tight end's got it. How about the move by Likely?
It's a great day to be joined by a Baltimore Raven. Isaiah Likely, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Thanks for having me.
How'd the Preakness go last weekend?
It was smooth. Yeah. It was my first time now. I mean, I seen everybody. Seen my little twin, Lil Zay. Came with my fiance. Seen a couple players there. It was definitely a vibe. Yeah.
Tell me who was there. What was it like? What was the experience like?
I had a couple coaches there. Had a couple horses. I bet on Sandman. Unfortunately, I lost.
So did I at the Derby.
Yeah. So I had fun out there. My first time. I mean, seeing Lil Zay came in. Always fun to see my little twin. Always with him. Seeing Lil Keaton. A couple others. I saw Cam Newton. It was cool. Oh. Yeah, he was there. And a couple other players.
God, Sandman took all my money. You just brought back like some PTSD for me from Derby weekend. That was not fun. Well, you looked great. Sounds like you had a great time. Isaiah, I saw this Twitter post from a few weeks ago. I want to help you pick the next digits. Okay, you were number 4 in college.
Yeah.
Keep bringing up Lil Zay. That belongs to Zay. Where's our head right now?
So I tweeted out, I really just wanted to see, what the flock was going to tell me. I mean, I like 80. I mean, obviously, because I wore 4, so it's double 4 and then added 0 at the end. I mean, that's always what I like to do. But, everybody told me probably time to get a single digits, but I don't know. I mean, I keep my mind open. We'll see how it goes.
I feel like 1 or 3 are cool.
See, I like 1, but 1's on standby for that boy that wears 8 after we get after we do that right there. 8 got first dibs. Once we hold that Lombardi right there, 8's
he's going to change his number to 1.
That's what he want to do. That's what he told them their rookie year.
I think I forgot that story. If I knew that story, that he wants number 1.
My thing is though, right? See the vision though. See the vision. If we win, right? When we win, 8's going boom, switch to 1. Then I'm gonna look at 8 and say, look, I think it's time to just pass it up. Just pass up 8. But
You're gonna wear 8.
I'm gonna ask him. Cause I'm really like I'm like his little brother. So it'd be crazy for him to say no, unless he wants to double retire. If he double retires, then
I don't know. You think he'd say yes? This is like shocking me right now that's even like a thing that's gone on in your head.
That's in my head. Yeah.
Lamar said this his rookie year, right? Back in it was 2021. He said this, that he would switch to number 1. Okay. I can see this. So what are you going to do in the meantime? Keep it how it is.
I might just rock out the 80. The flock likes the 80. I like 80.
The flock. The flock has spoken. I really like that you call everybody on your team little. Everyone's little to you. Like, what's that like? You guys have the Bills week 1. They're not little. Okay. They're tough. As we all know, it's a Sunday night football game. I was looking at the schedule. It's a revenge game, of course, from last year's AFC divisional. When you saw that on the schedule, what were the first thoughts to come into your head?
Let's line up tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. I was really like now it's football season. I mean, now everybody gets to say, really, place who they got their favorites on, who, you finally know your first matchup of the year. You finally, have a opponent to go into really OTAs, training camp, get everything, oiled up and ready to go to the first game of the year.
When you think of that matchup from last year, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
Line it back up. That's the only thing I could really say. Yeah. I mean, I was one of those, like, I've always, I'd rather just get out there and let's do it in between the lines. I'm not really trying to go back and forth on the tweet I'm trying
you're
to
looking
get out there.
Ahead to week 1, and that's Ravens at Bills, I believe, on NBC. Big treatment. Last time you were on primetime week 1, you did this. Let's I know you don't want to revisit that. Let's please revisit this. This is your 49-yard clutch touchdown in the fourth quarter. Walk me through this.
Okay, so I really started on the left side of the field. I ran like a delayed under, and then while I'm looking at L, I'm thinking he's gonna hit me now. Seeing that, I forget who was running with me, and I see him screaming out the pocket, so I turned up, and I'm always throwing my hand up. L knows right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm always throwing my hand up in a scramble drill just to make a crazy play. So when I was running down the field, he kind of like threw a back shoulder-ish ball because he seen Bolton's head wasn't turned. I caught the ball, gave a stick to the sideline, seen Zay. It's always, one thing about me and Zay, we're always going to find each other, try to make a block down the field. So I seen Zay blocking down the field. So I'm running down the sideline, and I seen 6 running full speed. And I was like, let me just see how this look. And I just stopped, watched him run by, scored. Selly.
Selly. You're too big to be that fast. What would you say to that? You're too big to be that fast.
See, you say that. Some people call me little. Some people call me big. It's like it's a little in between. So I feel like, whenever the ball's in my hands, I'm trying to go the distance. I'm trying to show out. I'm trying to put 6 on the board every time, no matter where I am on the field.
Who's calling you little? Thor? A transformer? What are you talking about? Who's calling you little?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, we got divisional people, so. Sometimes when 80 has to go on the line and you go to Cleveland, see Big 95 out there. It's kind of a little height. He about 6'6", 6'5", a little 6'4". Gotta look at it like that. A little sometimes like that. Or if you look at it like, okay, Isaiah's out there with the ball in his hand. I'm stiff arming. I'm jumping over. I'm doing all types of everything. That's when I'm like in my mode.
Does Myles Garrett call you little? Isaiah, does Myles Garrett call you little?
I hope he does it. I mean, I feel like I'm not little. I hope he doesn't call it on my spare time.
So Bill's not the only one you're looking forward to. Of course, KC. We remember how that one ended. What cleats will you wear this time? White ones?
I don't know. See, I feel like everybody's waiting for me to wear the white cleats, but in my head, just being the bad little kid, I want to wear black ones again and score that same way. That same way.
Now you just called yourself little kid. Look what you just did. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm excited for this Ravens squad. It is the fourth straight year that you're playing at home in prime time against the Bengals. And the Bengals fans not happy about that. How meaningful is it to you to have those games at the bank?
Man, I mean, if you've ever been to the bank on a Monday night, Thursday night, when the crowd's rocking, they start the game off, everything go pitch black, you see the purple lights go out, oh, you know the crowd's about to be rocking. And I feel like, the Bengals always got, just happen to have those type games where you come to the bank when you see them purple lights go on and the fans are ready. I mean, they know it's a divisional game. They know it's the Bengals. They don't like us. We don't like them. And we love the atmosphere. We love playing at the bank because now we get to just tee off and have fun and have the crowd on our side as well.
Do you know that Bengals fans are upset about this? Have you heard about this?
I seen the little clip. I mean,
from
Joe saying that he wants a game in Cincinnati out there on prime time.
What do you think of that?
I mean, I don't even know what their stadium's called. I just know, when you come to the bank, in prime time television, I mean, that's just somewhere nobody else want to be.
You don't know what their stadium, you just gave bulletin board material to Joe and company. Look what you just did. I thought you were going to say, yeah, we'll go there and we'll beat you all the same.
I mean, that's just common knowledge. I just didn't know the stadium.
Gosh.
I just know the bank.
Well, I think you should enjoy last time at the bank, because I think it'll be at Paycor in Cincy next year. So you enjoy that cute little primetime game against those Bengals. You have the third highest missed tackle rate, Isaiah, among tight ends last season. Congratulations on such a beautiful year, evident by that touchdown we just looked at against Kansas City. And I mean it with the big how are you so slippery at 6'4", 247? How?
Really just always priding myself on trying to make the first man miss. I mean, just always giving an outlet to, or a quarterback, just never be wrong. I mean, try to have, when the ball's in my hand, never have the first guy tackle me and always try to force a first down. I mean, that's always the mantra when I get the ball in my hand, always trying to, see green grass and make a explosive play for the offense, spark really the excitement in the crowd, excitement in the offense, and make really the team go.
Third highest missed tackle rate. I feel like, do you want me to I'm sure you saw that graphic. Do you want me to just print that out and send it to DaCosta for your deal? Because you're on the last year of your rookie deal, Isaiah. What's the conversation?
We'll see, man. I mean, if the flock knows I love them. I mean, I love being here. I love being a Raven. I don't try to, think about last year deal. I let my agent take care of that with, the Ravens front office. I just try to go out there, ball, put everything it is on film, and get, everybody is that I got.
Trey McBride just got extended. George Kittle just got extended. Okay, let's not talk about that. But, Eric DaCosta, please tell me Mr. DaCosta has plans on keeping you and Mark together. Like, what are we doing?
We here. I mean, the roster is here. I mean, you see me in 89 out there on the roster. I mean, I love Big Dog, Big Mark. That's my big brother. I mean, everything I got, coming into the league, from, blocking in the passing game, recognizing coverages from Big Bro Mark. I mean, I give it all to him.
Big.
So. That's Big Bro. Like, you always got it. You know what I'm saying? L's Big Bro. I really call him Unk sometimes. It depends how we go. DH is Unk for sure.
No, but, Isaiah, I don't know, because I'm 5 feet tall and I've never called anyone. My 8-year-old niece Maya is lapping me. She's about 5 feet tall. So I've never had that problem of deciding who's tall and who's not. What has Big Bro meant to you? What has Mark meant to you?
Everything. I mean, I feel like rookie year, when you go into the league, a lot of, young guys are with the mixed signals of how veterans or OGs are going to talk to you. Are they going to be pushing you off to the side? Are they going to let you learn by yourself? Are they going to, look at you as less. And I feel like I had the complete opposite. Mark welcomed me and Charlie when we got drafted with open arms, showed me the way, showed me how to be a pro's pro, whether I was treating my body, watching film, really just how to practice, and really just showed me, like, you know, in game, always take it one play at a time. Don't always try to look, you know, at the ups and downs of the game. Just always just keep your feet where your feet are, and really just, you know, let your talent shine.
Do you two text each other about E-tone?
E-tone.
You didn't say.
What's E-tone?
You're a quarterback, 8, soon to be 1, made his acting debut.
Yeah. Okay.
This is E-tone on the show Power. Did you see this?
I seen the. You threw me for it. Yeah, I have seen E-tone.
What did you think?
I told him he need a little work. I mean, obviously, I'm his acting coach, so I tell him, like, you know, where he could do better, what he could do. Tell him. I mean, I just told him a little bit, you know, just relax. You ain't got to be all the time. Just relax a little bit out there.
Wait, I didn't know that you were the acting coach. So what is a show that you'd like to cameo in?
I mean, man, what show do I want to cameo in? I'm thinking of being on Planet of the Apes, you know, just because you see my Twitter handle, Doug Gorilla. So I feel like that's just my movie right there. So if Planet of the Apes come out with a movie, I feel like I should be the starring role.
Yeah, and you'll be loose with it. Unlike, you know, I've never heard somebody, that's the first time anybody's ever said that Lamar Jackson isn't loose, isn't like doing his thing. He's just got to get better every day. Lamar, everyone is picking Lamar, anointing Lamar as the savior for Team USA, because of course, Olympic flag, NFL players, LA 2028. That's true, right? I can't think of one player who would be more apt to bring home gold for Team USA. He's the gold flag quarterback, right?
For sure. I feel like, I'm a little biased because I feel like him and Zay, like if you put them two out there, I feel like that's just all you need right there. Just him and Zay just out there running around, stopping on a dime, making everybody miss. It's just going to be a little too unfair. I mean, just watching him practice, watching the game.
It's interesting because everybody's picking like their favorite speedy players or small players, Tyreek. But you bring up an interesting point that, like, yeah, you should probably have somebody that has chemistry. You should probably have a quarterback and a player that they can. That's the advantage, right? That they can go out there and it's seamless. So I like the idea of Lil Zay, and Lamar rocking that. And you got to work your way into that too, as as an option since you are so quick.
For sure.
We love that. What else did I want to ask you about? I don't even know. What do you call Derrick Henry?
DH. I call him Lil DH though sometimes. Only reason I say Lil, I say Lil Zay because we know him as Lil Zay, Big Zay, because we both got the nickname Zay. So if you say Zay, we'll just both turn around at you and be upset if you're not talking to one of us. So now we just Lil Zay, Big Zay. That's just what we do.
I love it. Well, you got some not little events coming up, big events, youth football, 7x7 high school tournament. Then it's you and Mike Sainristil, still, who your fellow Mass native. You have an inaugural softball slam in June, which is really, really exciting. Go to EverettLegendsCamp.com for the softball slam. Go to MILB.com/Aberdeen. We love to see this. I love that you're taking time to do this with all these future Lil football players in the NFL, which I absolutely love. Thank you for joining the show. You are an absolute pleasure. So fun to talk to you always.
Thank you. Appreciate you too.
Eric DaCosta. Let's go. Thanks, Isaiah. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
And then I wonder, are we on break right now? I wonder why Eric, I'm not his favorite. Do you know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine why.
Secret.
No.
It's no secret.
Yeah.
I'm probably not Eric DaCosta's favorite.
No.
However, let's get this deal done. And I like, just him and Mark Andrews and that whole vibe. I love him.
Yeah.
I like that he's picking for flag. By the way, I hate that question. He's the best, right? Not a great way to tee up a question for me. Bad job by me. Okay. Go ahead, Ham. Any thoughts, Matthew? I have 0.
I'm just glad we can stop talking about it for a while. That's it. But as for Isaiah Likely, yeah, I mean, I like the whole him and Mark Andrews thing, but I do want to, I want to see him as the guy too. Like, I love their, how they work together and all that stuff. Like, I want to see Likely, as the guy. I think he's gonna thrive. I really do. Love his skill set and want to see him get as many targets as possible. So there's that part of it too.
So it's official. That was an official it's official. It is here from the Eagles account. Final vote.
Yeah.
Ban the Tush push 22-10. Eagles graphic was ready to go the second it happened. Just showed it to you. And they play each other week 10, I do believe. It is week 10. So we'll see, of course.
Week 10 Monday Night Football.
How that goes. Okay,
and apparently the Eagles just posted a 26-minute video on YouTube of just all tush pushes.
If the over is 7.5 on FanDuel Sportsbook, I'm hitting the over against the Packers. And I also would hit like first basket in the NBA. I would hit first play. First play is a tush push. It's at Lambeau. It's tough.
It is. Hold on.
All right, welcome back to Up and Adams. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals are tonight. Those Knicks, so fun. What a sexy little team. Wish I was there to celebrate this. 4.5-point faves over the Pacers. FanDuel's offering, guys, a 30% profit boost token. Let's go. Memorial Day weekend. Let's have some fun here. You can put one together for the game. It needs to have 3 legs. The odds need to be plus 100 or longer. I'm sure New York is losing their mind. Remember when I went to that Knicks game, Hamilton, and I met all those legends? And I mean, Brunson owes me his career. Yeah, I met West Worldwide, and I'm texting Hamilton like, who's this? Who's this guy? And I had no idea, and that was fun. I'm a Knicks girl. Pacers, Reggie Miller, Bulls had your number all in the 90s.
All of a sudden.
Knicks, baby.
Now all of a sudden you're on the Knicks bandwagon.